This is a free sample of the book Breaking Your OnlyFans Addiction by Cairo Copeland. The first half of this book is posted right here on YouTube, free for everyone to listen to. If you like this content and want to hear or read the rest, or want to listen to it free of ads, visit reinventideal.com/OnlyFans. The book is available on Kindle, paperback, and Audible at reinventideal.com/OnlyFans.
Intro. Enslaved New World. When thinking of a dystopian future, some images and stories that immediately come to mind are ones like 1984, V for Vendetta, Hunger Games, A Clockwork Orange, and Atlas Shrugged. The idea behind all these stories is an oppressive government or some other kind of ruling force enslaving the masses, plunging the world into a downward spiral to hell. These make for incredible stories, since the villain of them is so overwhelmingly powerful, and the heroes we're made to sympathize with are so powerless. It instantly sparks suspenseful anticipation because there's a chance the bad guys could win since they are so powerful. More importantly, though, the heroes are far easier for us, the audience members, to sympathize with. We, in the real world, live under conditions we view as oppressive, such as working jobs we really don't enjoy because we have to pay the bills, or paying taxes to a government that spends those tax dollars disrespectfully on horse shit we don't agree with. Even if you love your job and agree with the wasteful agenda of your government, you can still relate because we all had to endure something that very closely resembles a concentration camp. The education system. Sent there against your will, belittled by teachers who knew little themselves, bullied by other inmates, coerced into obeying stupid rules, denied the right to use the bathroom when needed, and force-fed indoctrination that in the end was useless. That is the setting for most dystopias. Sounds a lot like school, if you ask me. This is much like the threat in the famous 1984, where totalitarian censorship rules the world, dictates to you what to think, and restricts the availability of information only to what they approve of. In all these, the driving element is force. Is it possible that a dystopia could be created without the means of force? Rather, one that is brought on willfully and ignorantly by those that will soon become the oppressed. Much like the famous lines of Amidala in Star Wars Episode 3, "This is how liberty dies, with thunderous applause." One author, an artist of dystopic visions, parted ways with his brethren in the genre and showed the world a terrifying future brought on by consumption culture. The danger this one posed was far more subtle in its method of mass enslavement. This author was Aldous Huxley. His work was Brave New World. He portrayed a world where humans were dehumanized willfully by their own hands. A world where man subjugated himself to his own inventions. Far more in line with the realities of Western culture, but also far ahead of his time, Huxley was largely forgotten during the rise of George Orwell, Ayn Rand, and the like. In Brave New World, Huxley imagines an attention economy where the inhabitants actively seek continual distraction to avoid the difficult matters of daily living. Work avoidance. This is a term I'll be referencing a lot. The media ceases to spread information to make you think things. It trades that for spreading sentiment to make you feel things. In Huxley's time, this was limited to descriptions of the greatest modern media achievement then, which was television. But his prophecies extend their fitness even to today's modern media, the internet and smartphones. You tune into them, plug into them, to feel something, to distract yourself at the expense of what richness awaits you in the real world. Endless quests for instant gratification and mainstreaming pornography were staples of Huxley's vision. While in most dystopias, the people are controlled by inflicting pain, in Brave New World, they are controlled by inflicting pleasure. Seemingly free-acting individuals enslave themselves to their own desires. Where else do we see this? With the segment of the population addicted to OnlyFans, which is about 75 million at the time of this writing. I will not waste your time explaining what OnlyFans is or how it works. If you picked up a book titled Breaking Your OnlyFans Addiction, you know very well what it is and how it works. But more importantly, you recognize that the future it is giving you is more dystopic, or that the future it is costing you is more utopic. Or perhaps you are still on the fence about the subject. You are a regular user of OnlyFans, spend a little money on it here and there, occasionally message the creators, keep it all a secret, and think you don't have much of a problem. This book will convince you that yes, you do have a problem, and it's not just you who will pay for it. The entire world will as well. An example of the willful slavery OnlyFans facilitates with its users is best demonstrated by this screenshot of a post on 4chan. It reads, "System admin here. I spent $4,000 on OnlyFans. It's not only sexual. I fall in love with a girl on OnlyFans and I want her to feel that I'm going to do anything for her. Then I get obsessed and spend about half of my monthly income on her. I come to a point where it makes me angry that she won't get to know me in real life, and I fall into a deep depression. I go through the depressed phase and masturbate, cry, etc. I delete her shit, and then I fall in love with the next one, and so on and so on. How many of you have the same addiction? How do you get out of it? Maybe your problem is not as extreme as that guy's. Maybe your problem is more like this guy, a post on Reddit, struggling between OnlyFans or love/dating. I've been having a thing with OnlyFans girls for the last 3 years. It started after I was dumped by my girlfriend when I was 21. It felt like it filled a hole in me. Even though I'm aware the love is fake, it feels real. I can choose who will love me. I can choose to pause or leave my OnlyFans girl. It's so much freedom and it felt real enough, but it has cost me over $10,000, which is almost all I had in my bank after working a lot at my father's company during my childhood. I started dating a girl recently, and even though it's great, it feels icky. I want to switch her off sometimes. I want to be able to choose or date other women sometimes. I feel like I'd rather have the shallowness of OnlyFans than to feel like I'm in a cage with one woman for the rest of my life. I don't want to enter a relationship with her and at the same time have my OnlyFans thing going on. That wouldn't be fair for the girl in real life. But I just don't want to give up OnlyFans. I'm working a lot during college to be able to pay for it, and it's worth it. It feels shameful since no one seems to understand me. A young male who spent so much time in this matrix that he is no longer able to distinguish in advance the good feelings he would get from a real woman against the dopamine rushes of OnlyFans content. The problems associated with this addiction are not just sexual, but social as well. You'll find the weakness this addiction creates bleeding over into all aspects of your life. Some dismiss these guys as losers, or just from the lower echelon of males. But that is not true because all males are at risk, even ones who have good things going for them in their lives and fulfillment from other sources. Another Reddit post. I have an OnlyFans addiction. Recently I've quit my job and I've been masturbating at least 6 times a day. OnlyFans has made me waste my money. I hate myself because this is literally ruining my life and I don't know how to stop it. I work out every day and play video games to distract myself, but I can't stop going back to see if I can get any attention from this woman who don't even care about me. I need help. This guy works out, so he has the drive to improve himself. He has activities and interests that can be social and lead to expanding circles, like video games. While often seen as a socially isolating activity, there is a large gamer community where the inhabitants have the ability to form friendships they otherwise would never have had. But even this guy is not safe from the lure of this poison. That being said, even while the successful can fall prey to this predator, the trap is most dangerous for the more vulnerable among us, the poor and low-income earners, which is a phase most guys will have to go through. Being a young man, college-educated or not, no employer takes you seriously until you are 35 years old. It's just a sad fact of life we have no choice but to accept. Too many young guys showed up for work drunk or didn't show up at all, so employers view you as useless until you prove otherwise. You've always had this feeling your whole life that you must prove yourself, and that is extra apparent here. When you are in this poverty phase of your youth, you have yet another problem. This is also when you are the horniest. The sight of a woman in a bikini can still give you a boner. I remember when I was in my late teens, a woman in the Baywatch lifeguard one piece would turn me on. So of course, it will be easy for an OnlyFans ethot to seduce you with full-fledged porn. As a result, the young male in the early stages of adulthood can easily waste what little money they receive working on this addiction, as demonstrated by this Reddit post here. I have an OnlyFans addiction. I have a problem. I can't stop spending money on OnlyFans, and I don't know what to do. In July, I spent over $300 just on OnlyFans. That's more than a full paycheck for me. I've deleted my account at least 5 times now, and then I end up making a new one. I thought I had kinda got the spending under control, but tonight I completely relapsed and spent nearly half my paycheck I just got at midnight. I came to my senses a few hours later, and I deleted it again, but I'm terrified I will go back and make a new account. I've easily spent at least $2,000 in total since I started using OnlyFans. I feel so much guilt, regret. I even have a girlfriend who I'm happy with, but still can't quit spending money on porn. I don't know if I should tell her that I have this problem and that I've spent so much money. She'll probably hate me if she finds out, but I feel like she should know. I've had a porn addiction for several years, but it's been in the last 2 years or so that I started spending money on it, and it's progressed into spending so much, and I don't know how to stop myself. I'm only 21, and I've wasted so much. I could have saved that money for my future or spent it on a hobby, but I blew it all on porn, which I don't even have access to anymore because I keep making and deleting accounts. I hate myself so much because I've let this problem get so out of hand and I don't know what to do. If anyone has any advice, I would love to hear it. I'm sorry if my post is kind of all over the place. I've never admitted this problem to anyone before, and I'm kind of panicking. Clearly, many guys with this problem recognize what a problem it is, but they are at a loss for how to stop it. They know it's bad for them, but they keep doing it, much like other addictions such as cigarettes, alcohol, and drugs. Further compounding the problem, society offers no solutions to guys who find themselves in this hell. This is because society is ruled by a fempowerment mandate which demands anything that benefits a woman or womankind, even if it is at the expense of others, must be accepted, celebrated, legislated, and enforced. Look no further than the social push to make sex work socially acceptable. This is not because sex work has any merit or benefit to society. The product of it is pure indulgence. The push exists mainly because it provides an income to otherwise talentless women that possess no other marketable or compensable skills, or no patience to work their way up through the ranks, like the rest of us. They want easy money fast, and this platform gives them that. Ironically, this same society will still ridicule and condemn you for being an OnlyFans user. They'll label you an incel or a loser. But when you ask society for help in overcoming it, they turn their back on you and expect you to figure it out on your own. Because of how they'll mock you for your admission of the problem, you dare not mention it to anyone. As society celebrates the woman that sells smut on OnlyFans, it will only eschew the guy that buys it. Many guys that broke up with their girlfriends upon discovering their girlfriends were OnlyFans grifters were later shamed by her social circle and labeled as insecure in their masculinity with small dick energy. However, being an OnlyFans user is quite evident of masculine inadequacy in the view of the exact same critics. That is because an adequate male would have no use for the sexual artifice OnlyFans provides. He'd have the means to get the real thing. Still, despite society's imperatives and mandates for you, the addict recognizes that something is still very wrong. Rest assured, you are in the right place now. You are not a loser, because as you will see in the pages that follow, the conditions of today's world, along with its social imperatives, have created the perfect storm for a poison like OnlyFans to ensnare you. Step by step, I will show you how to escape this prison and reclaim control of your urges, as well as your life. Never again will you find yourself upset with your prior poor decisions. Never again will you find yourself tempted to continue this monstrous transfer of wealth. And never again will you beat yourself up for pissing so much money away to beat yourself off. The initial hesitancy you felt in buying this book will be the last gasp of temptation the OnlyFans operation will be able to throw at you. Turn the page to reinvent yourself, to reinvent the wheel, or reinvent ideal.
Thank you for listening to this free sample of the book Breaking Your OnlyFans Addiction by Cairo Copeland. If you enjoyed it and want to hear or read the rest, or want to listen to it free of ads, visit reinventideal.com/OnlyFans. The book is available on Kindle, paperback, and Audible at reinventideal.com/OnlyFans.